Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 77, and we have a guest this week, a donor to the Nashville Rockin' Pod Expo doohickey thingy, Stephen Michael.
Doohickey thingy.
That's me. What's up, fellas?
Man, every day.
But it is what it is going to be August 26th. Have I got that right? Yeah.
Yep.
In Nashville. So you guys check that out. And if you want to do what Stephen's doing right here, just do the same. You can.
I'll be there. Will you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we are going to be there. So we'll hang out, have a cold one. And,
we intend to try to get one or two episodes recorded while we're down there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But good intentions and the road to hell.
I'll stick my fat head in on one of those and
there you go.
Say what's up.
Right on.
That's cool. Definitely. All right. So anyway, he got in contact with us, and after the donation, he came up with a topic. So why don't you tell us what our topic for tonight?
So tonight's topic, fellas, is going to be your top 5 songs from each of what I would call the big 3 Ozzy Osbourne guitar players: Zakk Wylde, Jakey Lee, and of course, Mr. Randy Rhoades.
Awesome. That's going to be great. So, and I'm glad you did come up with that, because it gave me the opportunity to go through and listen to a shitload of Ozzy this week, and some stuff I hadn't listened to in a long time. And that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff out there, and a lot of it dates back to my high school years, so I'm attached to it a little bit.
Exactly.
That's how it works, right? Aren't all of us kind of attached to that high school stuff?
I think so. I think probably.
I don't know how you don't get attached to it.
I think probably those formative years, right, from let's say 15 years old to maybe 25. I mean, we all still listen to it today, and that's great stuff. But I think we can all identify with those bands and those albums that we discovered from that 15-year-old to 25-year-old time frame, right?
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. I mean, me, it was that about 7-8-year-old. That's when Kiss came around for me. And then, like I said, I was into music as a younger age, but like you said, on average, it's going to be those early teens to your 20s to once you start, your families start in when you get married and everything else, then that kind of takes a back seat. So I guess you're locked into that.
Because you can't afford to buy CDs anymore.
Exactly.
Diapers and formula is really expensive.
Yeah, when you're going through Walmart, you can't throw like a diapers and a Ozzy CD. What?
No, back then you got Columbia House and you took the stickers
off. Exactly right.
I want this one and I'm going to get a free one, and I forgot to send my card in. So now I got, what did I get this week?
There were no Walmarts back then, were there?
No, there was not.
Didn't know such thing. Isn't that weird to think about that? There didn't even exist. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Who knew?
All right. We got sidetracked.
So Stephen, so was that when was what album did you say you got into Ozzy on?
I actually ended up getting into Ozzy on the Speak of the Devil record, right, which was right after Randy died, and Bernie Tomei came in for a week or a month's worth of dates, and then Brad Gillis took over from there, and did the rest of that tour and recorded that album, that Speak of the Devil album. So that's kind of where I came in, but it wasn't like I hadn't heard Diary or Blizzard. It was just I hadn't entrenched myself like I did after Speak of the Devil came out, and I went and listened to it. I mean, I grew up on music. I'm the youngest of 9, so I grew up in a household that had everything from big band Frank Sinatra and Tommy Dorsey to Zeppelin and Tull and the Beatles and everything else in between. So I got a wide variety of upbringing in music.
That's cool.
Not a bad thing.
No.
No, not at
So,
all.
Bill and Dennis, which band or which Ozzy album was your introduction? I can't talk.
Well, I liked Black Sabbath. Like I said, I had an aunt that was older than me, so of course, the Paranoid album, I got that one when I was very young and loved that. Always loved that album. And then, like I said, whenever Randy came in, whenever the Blizzard came out, that music was just Randy was just such, because I was a guitar player at that point. I had just started playing guitar, and Randy's style was just so incredible, and it was like when Eddie Van Halen came out. Same deal happened to me. It was just so different, so melodic. It was just a great, and got into him, and then so I was hooked from the very beginning. And like I said, when then Randy passed, then Brad came along and they did that one album. Then like say Jake came in. It just kind of a progression. But I was always an Ozzy fan. From pretty well from the start.
I think for me it was. I mean, I always heard, obviously, always heard Black Sabbath, but for me it was definitely crap. My mind it was Blizzard of Oz. I mean, I just blanked it for a second. I've got a note written here. I got to look down.
Too much partying.
No, just I don't know. I had a migraine last night, so I think I'm like, I guess I did. I don't know, something like that. Something was jacked up my brain. Anyway, so yeah, that was it for me. I mean, I really, I don't know that I don't think I had not bought any Ozzy stuff at all. I didn't have any albums, tapes, nothing to that point. And when Blizzard came out, it was like, oh boy, it's time to get on the bandwagon. And yeah, I liked him through most of the '80s. There's some of that stuff I just thought he got a little crazy out there. We'll talk about that. He didn't the crazy train. There you go. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right. Alan, what about you?
Bark at the Moon was my introduction to Ozzy. I mean, I had heard Crazy Train, obviously. You'd have to live under a rock not to have heard that song. But my first Ozzy album, although it's not my favorite, it is up there. But Bark at the Moon was my introduction.
Gotcha.
I believe I got that probably not long after I started high school when I was 14.
Right. You are the young.
That's what you're behind.
Group, so.
Puppy.
Exactly.
But that guitarist is not my favorite Ozzy guitarist either.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way it works. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do this?
I don't know.
Steve, what do you want to do, man?
How you want to do it?
We can just we can alternate if you guys want.
Start out with Randy.
Yeah, we're gonna start.
Start at the beginning. I think you start at the beginning and work your way through Jake and end up with Zakk, and and just give your top 5 picks.
There you go.
Makes
All
sense.
right. You want to go first?
I'll be happy to go first.
Knock it out.
Let's do it. Let me pull up my notes here because I wrote myself a bunch of notes here, so I know what I'm.
Yeah,
I know what I'm talking about.
I made a playlist up, and I've been listening to my playlist because I changed, I think, 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I went through. I made a playlist of songs, and I went through, and I was like, I like this song a lot, but
Right.
I'm sick of this song. Like Crazy Train. I can tell you, Crazy Train's not on my list, man.
Well, I don't think it's on any of our lists.
You're going to be surprised, and I kind of went the same way with you. I didn't go with popularity. I went with what I thought was his best tracks, and that doesn't mean that they're the most popular tracks,
No, and I mean, I ended up going with tracks that I just liked, tracks that moved me, whether they were popular or not. I mean, I don't think I put anything on here that nobody's not going to know. I mean, everybody's going to know some, if not all of these songs, but they're songs that I dig. So,
I mean, Randy's got 2 albums worth. I mean, that's it. I mean, you've only got X amount of work, Well, Jake,
20 songs.
So.
We're going to have some duplicates.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That's all right. Go for it, man.
All right. So are we starting at the number 1 pick, or are we just starting at 5 and working our way towards?
I've got 5 songs from each artist, and they're in no particular order.
Yeah, no particular order. Fair enough.
Same thing.
Fair enough. Then I'll just go straight down the list.
All right.
So my first pick is the title track off of Diary of a Madman, for Randy. The song Diary of a Madman. I think it's absolutely textured and complex and just is freaking awesome. It sounds amazing, and his guitar work in that song is just crazy good. So that's my first list.
Cool. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. All right. So my first list, and I picked the obvious. I did pick Crazy Train because that was the beginning for me with Ozzy, and that's just you gotta Randy Rhoades. That is an undeniable riff. Mm-hmm. You can hear that riff. Actually, I heard that they've got that actually in as a Muzak thing, and I got in an elevator one time, and they started playing it, and you could tell it in the Muzak thing what it was. It was like boom, boom, knew what it was, and you start humming along. It's like in an elevator in a hotel. It's like awesome. Okay, but that is that riff is one of those that you just it's undeniable.
That's iconic.
It's iconic. That's absolutely true.
Exactly.
So I didn't pick the easy button. That's just the one that was my.
It speaks to you, right?
It does. It's cool.
That's what's important.
Alan, you want to go next? Oh, me? All right. I went with Mr. Crowley. Now I know that's a very heavy organ type song, but the outro on that song is my favorite, and it just continues. I wish that song went on 15 minutes. And there are some. There's a couple of songs on here that I got that there are some extra tracks, and you'll hear them some on the expanded editions where they just kind of let it go. And Crowley is one of those. I mean, that lead at the end and where he just keeps growing and growing. I love that. And like I said, you can't, and some of these songs, especially in some of the later ones, you can't go by the song because it may be a heavy, not a guitar oriented song, but there are magical spots in those songs that are just like incredible. But yeah, I do. Mr. Crowley. That's one of my top 5. Alan?
All right. My first top 5 pick for Randy is Steal Away the Night.
I'm glad you picked that, man. That was that was one of the ones I had on my list and I pulled off because I couldn't decide, but I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah. It's a great song, It's a great song. And it didn't get overplay. I don't even think there's a video for it, is there?
No,
I don't know that it got much radio play, so
right.
You can't get burned out on a song that's not playing every 15 minutes.
Exactly. Cool.
All right, so I'm up. My second pick is Suicide Solution, but it is not the album version or the studio version. I picked the tribute live version of Suicide Solution because the solo is amazing in that song. His live performance on that record of that song is fantastic.
Yeah, that is.
Out and give it a listen.
Yeah, if you have not listened to it lately, go back and listen to that version of that song. It was released in March of '87, and that version was recorded live in Montreal, July of '81. The majority of that record, I think, was recorded at some shows in Ohio, but that particular track was recorded in Montreal, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I've got that. I'm gonna have to pull that out. I'm gonna go dig it through my CDs.
Is it not on Spotify?
It is, but I'm gonna pull the CD out. What the hell? Give it a
like a physical
give it a shot.
CD.
There you go. Give it a shot.
You're all old school now.
Wow, that's impressive, dude.
All right, Bill.
So unlike you. Oh, to me. My second pick was "Steal the Night Away." But I like that song because it was, it's just melodic. It was a melodic, very driven song. I like it, and it's one of those ones that you don't hear very often. Well, you don't ever hear it if you don't listen to it. I mean,
it should have been a hit. Actually, it's got a good hook to it. I don't know why it didn't become a hit. I mean, it's
he
funny.
needed to bite a head off another animal.
That's true. That's true.
Something. But yeah, so I think we're definitely gonna have some duplicates on this thing. But,
I'm actually surprised that's one of the duplicates. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool song. I mean, I have always thought it was.
It is a good song.
It's a great song. It's just not an obvious song, right? It was not an obvious song that Alan picked it and then you picked it, and I was like, wow, okay.
Surprise! Now Dennis is going to pick it.
No, that's not on my list. Actually, my next song is Revelation Mother Earth. And just for the same fact of my last song, the outro on that song is just incredible. I mean, it's just like I said, I could sit there and listen to it for 20 minutes. So, there again, it's one of those ones. And, there's a lot of good acoustic work on that song. It's a masterpiece. I love that song.
That's another one that I had on my list and I pulled off. So.
And if I'm not, is that the one that goes into Steal Away?
Yeah.
So there you go. Because actually, I like Steal Away because it outros to that song, and I'm like going, but I can't put that song on there. I'm glad I didn't because I'd be like a dork. But no, Revelation Mother Earth,
anyway.
That is a great song. Awesome song.
Good
All right.
pick.
All right, Alan.
My next Randy pick is Goodbye to Romance.
I like that song.
It's a nice, mellow guitar song.
Right.
But the guitar in it is really cool. I mean, it's his style is just
because he layers guitars instead of the days when they do all the electronic layering. It's almost like, remember how the Carpenters did their. I'm going to go really far to the other spectrum, but there again, they kept recording their voices over and over and over. Randy. Everything you've ever heard from him as far as like in the studio, they were just amazed how he could play a lead and then play that lead again and then play that lead again and and then they would just keep layering that,
Well, that was like Freddie Mercury doing his vocals on Night at the Opera.
Exactly. Right. So it's one of those things where, it's just so full and a big sound because he just layered his guitars over and over. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Like it. All right.
Who's I'm up.
You're up.
You're back up.
3.
I'm up. All right. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna go with "Flying High Again" off the "Diary of a Madman" record. This is a record that speaks to me, kind of like "Crazy Train" was speaking to you. "Flying High Again" speaks to me. I love the solo. Just love it.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great song.
This is just going to be tough, right?
Go ahead, Bill. What you got?
Flying High Again. It's a twofer.
You got 2 albums of material. We picked 5 songs.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's for sure. That's the problem. The problem I had with that is I really listened to the stuff that were the radio hits and just a few other things. I didn't listen. I mean, not today, but I mean, back in the day. And that was one of those songs. I mean, it's another one of those just iconic songs. I mean,
people know that song. I don't care what.
Everybody know that song. It's just, I don't know. That's an Ozzy song and that's a Randy Rhoades song. And you don't go, oh, that's an Ozzy song. Who's a guitar player? I mean, you just don't.
I think the difference for me though is that unlike Crazy Train, to me, Flying High Again, Over the Mountain, those tunes didn't get like overplayed. I'm not going to say they didn't get played because they did get played and people have heard of them and people know what they are, but those songs speak to me. I mean, those again, you only have the first 2 records really for us to talk about, and I'm not much of a ballad person, so you're probably not going to hear me talk about Goodbye to Romance or You Can't Kill Rock and Roll or some things like that. I think they're great songs, but I like to rock. So
right, exactly. But all right, me next.
Yep.
Well, he just mentioned it, but Over the Mountain. That's my third one. And the reason being is, and it's not even really it's the riff in that song. It's the rhythm part of that song. That is just an absolute killer song. I mean, when that song comes on, you can't help to just sit there and just just fucking rock with it. I mean, it is just an absolute. That's one of the coolest licks. You know, and being a guitar player, it's a difficult song to play. Actually, I mean, it's kind of complicated. You know, well, for me because I'm a shitty guitar player, but but no,
admitting your faults or the pathway to recovery.
I'm 52 years old. I've been playing for 30 years. I should be better than Eddie Van Halen, and I'm not even. I'm not good enough. I'm not as probably worse than Alex Van Halen on guitar. So there you go. But anyway, Over the Mountain it's one of my favorite riffs that Randy does. I love that song, just for that fact. All right, Al.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw out number 3 and number 4 because Flying High Again was my number 3 and Over the Mountain was my number 4. And there's really not much more to add to what you guys said.
Okay, got you. All righty.
But now our local classic rock station does play the hell out of those 2 songs.
Yeah, you do hear Over the Mountain. That's one song that they do play on occasion, which I'd love to hear. That's one of those crank.
I think I hear Flying High Again more than I hear Over the Mountain, but yeah, I mean, both of them get played, but none of it gets played like Crazy Train. That song, that song is embedded in everything, whether it's a baseball game or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Every bar band you go to.
And our band plays it, and then I take it off the list on purpose, and then some, by the end of the night, some drunk person, hey man, you gonna play the Crazy Train? It's like, oh really? We're gonna go through this? Okay, so the next, I gotta sit there just. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like playing it, but it's just I'm just burnt, dude. I'm just burnt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. That's one of the first.
It's almost like Freebird. It's like I didn't want to play it.
It is the Freebird of heavy metal.
There you go.
There you go. That's a good analogy right there.
It is.
Yeah. All right, so you ready for your number 4?
All right.
Yeah, I could do 4 and 5, but I'm gonna break it up a little bit. I'm gonna go with I Don't Know off of Blizzard of Oz, the album opener.
That one almost made my list.
It's just I went back and forth with it. It's just such a good song. I mean, I love that song too, and people know it and it gets played. But it's a great album opener.
It's actually the song I would rather play than Crazy Train. To be honest, if I was, as far as being a bar band, if I got to play one of Ozzy's biggest hits, I Don't Know would be the one that I'd play. But of course, everybody knows the Crazy Train, so that's it. So,
and as a bar patron, I would much rather hear that than Crazy Train.
I know we do.
But you're the exception to the rule.
I know, doesn't it suck, you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Whenever we go to see concerts, I mean, I'm guessing, and without knowing you guys, but I'm guessing that you guys are probably similar to me in that when we go to see concerts, I'd much rather hear freaking some deep cut off the album than the single, right? I mean, but
it depends on which band it is.
We're in the minority.
We've ranted about Kiss. A gajillion times. I mean, God damn, change that set up. I don't want to hear, the same 16 songs every year. You've got out. How many albums you got? Gene and Her Gold. He'll tell you how many he's got. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why don't you pick some songs off there and throw those 16 out?
Yeah. Raise your hand if you would rather hear, I don't know, Strange Ways rather than Rock and Roll All Night.
There you go.
My old band actually did a cover of Strange Ways.
I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. I went and saw Def Leppard recently, and it was.
Oh yeah.
It was. I mean, we saw them last year and we saw them this year, and the set list was virtually the same.
Yep.
And I don't need to hear Rock of Ages one more time. I just don't. I would much rather hear freaking Rocks Off or Wasted or.
Oh, there's so many great songs.
High and Dry.
Well, I saw Def Leppard at Rocklahoma the other day, and they did Let It Go, and that one caught me off guard.
Let It Go has actually been in the set for the past few years, and it's the highlight for me because I know they're going to play it, and I love that song.
All right, third song, let's go.
Yep, exactly.
It's the third or fourth song in the set.
We digress. Anyway,
Yes.
I'll get us back on track.
But no, we're the same way. We're the kind of people that's like going, you know what? Because we even go see Cheap Trick. You know, we've seen them a bunch of times. You know, Cheap Trick's got so many great songs. It's like, dude, you know, I want you to want me. I do like that song, but you know what? You could throw, you know, like Al Wiedersehen or something. You know, something that's good. You know,
Don't they do a good job of mixing up their set list?
Yeah, they do.
somewhat. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but,
you got to play. Okay, we are really way off.
So, Bill, what's your number 4 Randy Rhoades Ozzy Osbourne pick?
Okay, so my number 4, I'm sticking with the theme. I'm going to stick with the theme. So I'm going with the opening cut from Diver Madman, which is Over the Mountain.
all right.
Again.
But again, I think it's a great opening song. I mean, it really sets the tone.
Bill's a big opening guy.
I am. Hey, I'm telling you,
I'm the same way.
You don't get past the first song, it's over, dude. It's off the needle. It's out of the CD player. It's pushed to the next thing. It's done.
I'm the same way.
I got nothing for you. You can't. Yeah, we reviewed an album not long ago, and the very first song, I was like, I can't get past the first song. The rest of it might be great, but I'm like, I got nothing.
Steve, you say you're the same way about that?
I'm the same way about that, and in fact, I mean, I carry it over to concerts. Like, there is no better time at a live concert for me, but that 2 to 3 minutes when the house lights go off, the intro tape plays, and the band hits the stage with the flash of lights in the first song. That is the most exciting time for me at a show. That gets my hair on end.
Yep,
mine too.
So it better be a good. That's what happened to you. All right. So my number 4 pick is Believer.
Good song.
Now that is a. I mean, it's a huge bass driven song. I mean, the bass is the key thing on there, but that lick on there is just. I mean, I love that. It's kind of there again. It's just classic Randy. I love that song, and the lead's good on it, and it's just a well done song.
Golf clap. Great choice.
Okay.
There you go.
Anyway.
Well,
Alan?
since I've said my 3rd and 4th, do you
You
want me
said
to
your
do the
4th.
5th, or do you?
No, we'll just skip you. Just give a golf clap, and we'll go on to the next one.
So we've got Flying High Again on here 3 times, and Over the Mountain on here 3 times.
Yeah, that's
So,
a very good song.
there you go.
Guess what my 5th pick is, guys?
Let's see. Would that be,
What's your 5th pick?
Boom.
No. There you go. Over the Mountain.
Yeah, that's my 5th pick.
It's just an awesome song. That is just.
So does Over the Mountain win the Randy sweepstakes then? How many times did we get that?
That's the four-factor.
Four-factor. There you go.
Yeah.
Would that be the quad-factor?
Bruce Walker, who is with Marvelous 3, and he's done a bunch of stuff on there. He has got a version of that song out.
Did you say Bruce Walker?
Or no, Butch Walker.
Did you mean Butch Walker?
Yeah, Butch
Butchie
Walker.
boy.
Did I say but?
Now
Butch Walker.
he played Butch Walker for me all the way to Bloomington one time, and they get the guy's name wrong.
You know what? It's Butch Walker. I've had a long day. But anyway, no, they do a version of Over the Mountain. They messed the lead up. I mean, the lead's nothing. Of course, he's not Randy Rhoades, but the rhythm part of it, he's got it nailed down, and it's freaking awesome.
Hey, I got a Butch Walker story for you.
Oh, let's hear it.
I got a couple Butch Walker stories for you.
Awesome. Love that guy.
Is this one where we're going to insult Butch and ask him to come on the show?
No, I like Butch actually. So when I first moved to Atlanta, I moved here because I got a job at a local music store. And every Saturday, Butch used to come into the store.
No shit.
And
Awesome.
and this was before Butch was Butch, right? In fact, his name was Brad at the time.
Right.
But Brad used to come in the store, used to pull a guitar down, used to play guitar. He was pretty good back then. We'd shoot the shit and hang out and talk. And I used to go see Butch's band play every Saturday up in Marietta. at a local rock club. At the time, they started out, they were called Bad Boys, and they ended up being Bite the Bullet. And that, of course, eventually they moved out to LA and became South Gang, right?
Right. South Gang. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I got into him during Marvelous 3 is when I got into him, which I love that band too. So, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, they had Floyd's Funk Revival in there too before Marvelous 3, which was essentially Butch and Jace, the bass player, and
Right.
I think Jace's wife. So that was a good band as well. We saw them play quite a bit around here. I went out to LA for a while. I had some friends that lived out in LA at the time, and went out and saw Bite the Bullet playing on the Sunset Strip at Guitarists to about 25 or 30 people at the time.
Wow.
On a weeknight before they became South Gang, and again just hung out and shot the shit with those guys. But
I forgot he was from Atlanta. I forgot he was from that area. That's awesome.
yeah, he's from Rome, technically, but yeah.
Right. Because my first thing real quick with Butch Walker was I went, because this is a funny story. I was watching HBO one night, and they had this like little thing where they were showing 3 up and coming bands, and Marvelous 3 was one of them, and he did Freak of the Week, I think is what it was. And I was like, my God, that is a great. I mean, it was this thing I need, because I think grunge was going on at the time, and I was like, man, I need something that's a little bit. And it was like, this is what I need. This is what I need. So I told my wife, I was like, Marvelous 3, I love these guys. Went out, bought 3 of their CDs. I was like, oh my God, I'm just like a kid in a candy store, you know. And then I see on the back of the CD, it was like, oh, you can find out more information. And this is when the internet was first, you know, back when you had to crank your shit and you had two
hamsters and a spinning wheel.
early internet. And I went to their webpage, and then it was like going, yeah, we broke up and blah blah blah. And I'm like going, no, don't, because I finally found this band, and I'm like, this could be my new Kiss, you know. And it's like, oh shit, you guys are broke up now. It's like, well, I got 3 CDs now I can listen to.
So to bring this back full circle back to Ozzy, when Butch came into your music store and got a guitar off the wall, did he do the Crazy Train riff?
Of course he did.
That'd be awesome.
Probably, but I don't remember.
Okay, so anyway, where are we at?
Jake E. Lee.
No, we got.
I think we're still number 5.
No, he's.
Oh yeah,
Bill,
that was his number 5. You guys haven't done yours yet.
Yeah, I had
and
Mr. Crowley.
Yeah,
I had Mr. Crowley as my number 5.
Yeah, which I had. All right.
Just a song I like.
Yep.
Good
All
song.
right. My number 5 pick was SATO.
Oh, nice.
And I love that. And you know what? Up until yesterday, I didn't know what that stood for, because it's never said in the record. It's never in the recording. It's never mentioned, whatever, in the lyrics wise.
Enlighten.
So I did a little research on it, and basically it stands for Sharon Arden Thelma Osbourne. It's basically his wife and she was a because basically he wrote that song. It was originally called Strange Voyage. That's what Bob Daisley said.
Isn't that what Sharon Arden whatever Osbourne is?
Exactly.
Voyage.
But I love that song. I think it's just a great, another great song. I like the Blizzard, I think, a lot more than I do Diary. If I'm going to do a Randy album, back and forth, each of them have their good stuff, but I'm probably more of a Blizzard. But just me.
Yeah, they're both classic records. I mean, I liked your picks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
but I went off the beat path. That was the whole point.
You went deep. You went deep.
I went deep
for the first time ever.
My final.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
He belongs. He belongs.
He's one of us. All right. My final Randy Rhoades pick is Little Dolls.
Sweet.
I like that song, and I almost put that on. I love that.
That's cool, man.
That was a good song. Just
all
odd.
Right, so
all right.
Over the Mountain 1, right?
Yeah, that was the popular one.
Everybody?
I think everybody did, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it got the Forfecta.
4.
All right, so we're gonna go to the Jakey days. Not a big fan of the Jakey days.
Jake,
it was tough. It was tough.
I'll tell you what, man.
It was the man in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first pick, I wasn't a huge Bark at the Moon fan. Like, that record came out, and I listened to it recently just to see if maybe it weathered well over the years. And there's not a ton of stuff off that record that I like. I mean, the classic is Bark at the Moon, and that's a good song. I don't have a problem with that song, but it's just not a whole bunch. However, my first song, and I absolutely love this song, is Rock and Roll Rebel off of Bark at the Moon. I love that song. The riff in that song is killer. So that's my first Jake pick.
Yeah, I like that song a lot too.
Yeah, I struggled with the whole Jakey Lee thing, because to me, it sounded like, well, they changed the whole production, so trying to make him sound like as much as they possibly could like Randy Rhoades. So
and they threw the keyboards in hard on.
And then they tried to just change
like,
direction.
Oh God,
it just didn't work really well for me. But we're gonna go that way anyway. My first pick, though, I thought was Waiting for Darkness. That's on Bark at the Moon, and I picked that because I think of any of the songs on that album, I thought that one was a little bit different, and it didn't really sound as much like Randy Rhoades as the rest of them. So
right.
That's why I picked that song. I like that song. I thought it was just a little bit different. It wasn't the same, I don't know, just the same riff kind of thing. And I don't know. I think if it'd be interesting to hear some of those riffs from that album isolated, and hear some of Randy Rhoades' stuff isolated, to hear how much of that stuff it just is similar, because it seems like they tried really hard to make him play those notes like Randy did.
I never really got that at all. To me personally, I mean, I just didn't like it. I mean, it just didn't, after those first two records, and mind you, it's pretty hard to try and recreate magic to me, because I mean, I think those first two records are magic, but yeah, just listening to it, I mean, I just didn't like the tunes. I'm a guitar driven person. I mean, I like riff driven songs. That's what I dig, heavy backbeat and riff driven songs with a good groove. That's what I like, and Rock and Roll Rebel gave that to me, but there was a lot of slower stuff on the record and just didn't connect with it.
Right. All right. My first pick, like I said, now here's my deal about Jakey's. Same deal. That first album, and it's just, man, it's just, I don't know. Like you said, there's not really anything. It's not a guitar driven album. It's got so much keyboards and mix on it. I just don't know. I think they were just confused. I'm sure, Ozzy, when Randy was gone, he was in a kind of a confused state, and Jakey wasn't. He's a good guitar player, don't get me wrong, but he's not the fit for that band, I don't think. And like I said, my first pick was Bark at the Moon, only because of that's a cool riff, and it's probably the best, one of the two best songs that he's got on those two albums. Like I said, it was hard for me to pick. I had to really listen deep, and then every time I kept listening deep, I'm like, oh, God damn, there's a lot of fucking keyboard on this thing. It's like, and then every once in a while you get a little riff and a little riff here, and I don't know, I'm just not a fan of Jakey's playing either. So I was just trying to be as nice as I could, and trying to pick the best of what I could. But I'm just not a big Jakey fan. I was never had.
You want to come on our show?
And well, I would. It's not that I don't like him personally. I just don't like his style of playing.
I dig that.
And I just don't think
totally
that he
dig that.
I just don't think that he fits the Ozzy mode. There again, and unfortunately, he picked up Zakk when he was very, very young. Zakk was probably 15 when Jakey was playing, so he was a little young for that. It's too bad that Zakk couldn't have came in right after Randy and eliminated the Jakey days. You know what I'm saying? I think it would have been.
You are wrong.
Alan's a big Jakey fan. All right. So anyway, Bark at the Moon is mine because of the I like the rhythm of it. I think it's a good riff, but probably one of the only good riffs on that album. So go ahead.
Well, my first pick is a duplicate of your first pick. I picked Rock and Roll Rebel as well. That's
a great song.
It's a great song. I really dig the riff on that song.
Right.
But Jake was not my. See, he came in on Bark at the Moon. Is that right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was his first one.
That was my introduction. So that probably colors my point of view.
Right there again, it's one of those ones that it has more of a memory.
Sentimental value too.
Well, whether you like that or not, sometimes you're kind of stuck with it.
Well, it is. I mean, we can go into a whole thing, and we'll save that for another show at some point. But there's emotional connections that we all have to music.
Oh, exactly.
We've had that discussion before early on. But if it doesn't move you, there's no point in doing it.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
The only issue that I have with that is, if I say, Jakey Lee was my favorite Ozzy, and then one of my friends was like, well, you're wrong. Well, no.
No.
I am not
That's
wrong. Our opinions just differ.
Yeah.
Well, but it is amazing to me how many people are so emotional about their pick.
I'll tell you what, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I had this whole conversation. I don't want to stray too far because this is a subject that literally we could go down a rabbit hole on. But I had this discussion just the other night about, well, why do people get so defensive when, let's say, you say your favorite record is "Hot in the Shade" from Kiss, and that's your favorite Kiss record? Oh. Okay, and
see, Dennis's head just started bouncing around.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
As a Kiss fan, your eyes roll back in your head, and you want to reach across the table and strangle the individual that said that, right? But that individual, why do we get so defensive? And I think the reason is because essentially we're not hearing that you like that album and I don't like that. What we're hearing is that my memories, my sentimental value isn't as important as your sentimental value, and that's what we hear. And so you're not telling me that you like a song better than I like. You're telling me your memory is worth more to you than my memory. And that's why I'm getting defensive, right? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, and Kiss is one of those bands that it's passion. It's not the music, it's the passion in of the, like I said, the era. I mean, Kiss has got this, they got people that I'm like one of those people. I like them no matter what. Don't like them so much on one side, but do the other. But I don't get like you said, there's people that get absolutely, go to the message boards and you can see this stuff. People just go just ape shit. And it's like going, dude, it's a band. Number one, just take a breath. But they get passionate about it. It's not just the music. And like you said, I think you're getting right up the right tree there, because you're saying it's not the music. It's just you're not my memories and what I like. You're just telling me that I'm wrong, and that's not true.
But the passion comes from the emotion that's attached to the sentimental value.
Exactly.
It's not Kiss. It doesn't matter whether it's Kiss or Ozzy or Van Halen. People are passionate. People are passionate about what they're passionate of. There just happens to be a different type of fan base with Kiss. Same as Grateful Dead. Same as your hero, Dave Matthews.
You can't say that. You cannot say that.
I just threw it back in my mouth.
What the hell? Did you not give him? Hey, did you not give him the contract that says words you cannot say?
I'm glad I didn't eat supper before we did this.
I threw up a little bit.
Oh.
That's funny though. Good one.
That was great.
What
guy
you
has listened.
say? What would you say?
Shut the hell up.
All right, so I think we're on our number 2 Jakey Lee picks now.
All right, yeah, we're on Jakey Lee.
Yep.
All right, so where are we at?
I just
We're
did
on
my
number
number
2.
1. So
Okay.
Yeah, so it's down to me. I'm up for number 2. So my number 2 Jake pick is the title track off of Ultimate Sin. I like the Ultimate Sin record. There's a lot of good stuff on there, and I like the title track Ultimate Sin. It's a good record. So that was my pick.
All right,
All
so
right.
I'm back to the Bark at the Moon. So that's 2 for the title track, Bark at the Moon.
Oh, you just hit Bark of the Moon? Okay.
Yeah, that was my number 2. That's it's a classic Ozzy song. I'm just not a big Jake fan, so it's okay, but
I think Jake.
you just like the
we
video.
have to pick. So
Yeah.
Well, the video wasn't bad, but
Yeah,
I
you
like
have to-
that video.
yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool.
All right. My second pick on this is I hate the song. It's called Center of Eternity. I don't like the song itself, but I like the guitar, the lead part and the guitar toward the middle. With Jakey, like I said, with this album, I had to go with what licks I like the best, and this had a good lick in it. And other than that, the song itself is.
Because it's always important when you're doing your top 5 pick to pick a song and go, you hate this song, but you pick it.
There you go. No, I mean, I don't. The Center of Eternity would be one that I would probably go through and yank it. But there again, it's got some good guitar parts in it. So I was trying to find Jakey's best guitar things. I went through and listened to every Ozzy album before we did this. So I spent the whole one day this weekend.
Time.
I did. I listened to a lot of Ozzy this weekend, and the Jakey part was not my favorite. All right, Al.
Well, my number 2 pick was also Center of Eternity, but I picked it because it's a killer song. And if you disagree,
Well,
Dennis,
there you
you're
go.
wrong. And I'm going to get emotional on you. No,
You hurt my feelings.
all 10 of them.
that's funny. No, but I dig the riff in Center of Eternity and just the whole. I like the beat of the song. It's kind of got a flow to it that just gets my blood pumping.
Right.
I don't know how to describe that, but the song's badass. So,
All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. All right.
All right, I'm up. My second pick off of Ultimate Sin, and it's going to be Ultimate Sin from here on out because, like I said, I just didn't like a whole lot off of Bark at the Moon. But there's a song called Fool Like You, which is an awesome tune. It's got a really cool little intro part to it.
I was close to picking that one, actually. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a cool tune, so I dig that.
Awesome.
All right, my third pick was and I tell you what, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I struggled after this, so we're going to have to have some help. But my third pick was the only pick off of Ultimate Sin, because that album to me was just synth heavy, and I don't know. I think when they led with Shot in the Dark, which is an okay song, but it's not an Ozzy song. So that album just kind of turned me off from the album. But the one song I do like off the album is Thank God for the Bomb.
I had that on and I took it off.
And that's it. It's kind of to me, it's more of an angry kind of song, and it really I don't know. It's more antagonistic, and the rest of the stuff on there is just I don't know. These two albums just kind of feel like fluff. I just struggle with them.
And I don't listen to the lyrics. See, the thing is, Thank God for the Bomb. I don't listen to the lyrics of it. I could care less. I was listening to Jakey's playing on both these albums. So if it's like I said, that's the way I don't. Center of Eternity, I don't like the words to it. I like the music to it. So there again, that's maybe I got confused on that when I said that earlier. But anyway.
It's interesting you say it's synth, that Ultimate Sin is synth heavy. I thought that of Bark at the Moon more so, but there's actually, to me anyway, I mean, the 4 songs I picked off Ultimate Sin are definitely guitar-driven tunes. So, I mean, I don't know. It's all on how you hear it, but it's not my turn, is it?
Nope.
Never mind.
No. Okay, so my
That's
third
okay. It's cool, man. No, it's awesome.
My third pick on Jakey was "Slow Down." And that's the last song that I'm picking off of "Bark of the Moon." There again, that's another song that's kind of radio friendly. I'm surprised that one didn't hit. Other than "Bark at the Moon," I'm surprised that it wasn't. What was the side B of "Bark at the Moon"? Do you know by chance?
I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
either.
too young to know what a side B is. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, they made these little bitty records when you put them in the jukebox, and they had a B side. It's what Beth was.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
But anyway, no, "Slow Down" was one of those songs where it's there again. I don't care much for the lyrics to it and the content, but it's got a fairly decent guitar lick to it. So that's why I went with that. All right, Al.
My third pick is "Shot in the Dark," but it's the live version from Just Say Ozzy.
Okay.
But I like the studio version as well, and I think isn't.
Was Jakey playing on that, or was
Let
that?
me think. No, Zakk was actually playing on that.
Well, then you can't use that.
It's still a Jakey
Zakk
Lee song.
But he's not playing.
He's not playing. You
Doesn't
can't
matter.
do that.
Okay, then fine, fucker.
You're
"Shot in the Dark" off of
disqualified.
Ultimate Sin.
You're
You
disqualified.
guys are fire, all of you.
You don't get a number 4. All right.
So the B side to "Bark at the Moon" was "One Up the B Side." That was the name of the song.
That's
Oh yeah, it
that's
is.
on
That's
that.
right. That's on that album. Yeah. All right.
You guys know what that is? I don't even know what that is.
I listened to
It's
it the
on
other
there.
day and it sucks. Yeah, it's not worth listening to.
Okay, interesting.
You would think they would have put something decent on the back. Maybe they would have flipped it around. Who knows? Anyway. All right.
I'm
Number
up.
4.
You're up.
Number
Please pick a live song that Zakk played.
He's not going to break the
He's
rules.
not gonna do that.
My number 5 song is "Let It Scream" off of the Scream.
You need a number 4.
No, just kidding. "Lightning Strikes" off the Ultimate Sin is my next pick.
I like that song a lot. I should have picked that one.
I mean, the video, they dressed Ozzy a little bit too glam, and they started down that path, but the song's cool. I like the song.
That was.
I saw that tour. I saw that tour. And he started out with this big silver glitter robe. He looked like a wrestler.
Well, that was
little
in the
bitty
mid
wrestler.
'80s, so that's not surprising.
No, he looks like Shelley Winters.
Yeah.
Not a good look, by the way.
Not a good look. Not a good look. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've got no 3 and 4. I've got no 4 and 5 because I just struggled. I could not find.
You can borrow mine if you want.
I mean, I just.
No, it'll be a
I
Zakk
lost
song.
interest.
so
I mean, I
can't-
couldn't. I struggled even getting through them. It just
All right.
didn't resonate with me.
You listened to the Ultimate Sin recently?
I listened to most of it today at work was the last time I listened to it, actually.
Really? You weren't digging on "Fool Like You" or "Lightning Strikes" or any of those tunes?
Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't. I guess if I had to pick 5, I mean, I guess I should have picked 5 for sure. But
Yeah, you
I
can
mean,
pick 5.
if it didn't hit you, it didn't hit you. It is what it is.
yeah,
Well, my number 4 was "Shot in the Dark," and like I say I tried to stay away from the radio hits and stuff, but that is a great song, and it's a good song, and I give Jakey some credit on that one. So it is what it is. All right,
My
Alan.
number 4 is "Secret Loser."
I do like that song.
That
I
is a
did
good
write.
song.
I did write that song down, but
Okay, but you're a loser.
I scratched it out later because I was
But
like,
it's no
okay.
secret.
I know.
It's out there for the world to
I
see.
deserve it. I deserve it. It's okay.
All right. Okay. That is a good song, "Secret Loser."
Dude, anybody that goes to the store and wants to buy a House of Lords record and instead buys "Endless Love," come on, man. Come on, man.
That was
Man,
a,
he
that
has
was
been
a
taking
totally different
notes.
place.
Out.
That was at a totally different place.
I'd have
Holy
busted
shit.
right in the back of the head, just like, what the hell?
I always get a kick out of that because when we record our episodes, the day after they come out, a friend of mine in Louisville listens to the episode while he's at work, And I can tell how far along he is in the episode by what text messages I've gotten so far during the morning. And usually he's like, if I ever see Dennis, I'm just going to kill him.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
kidding, Dennis.
House
I'm
of
kidding.
Lords, Endless Love. House of Lords,
They were at two
Endless
different
Love.
places. They were.
When you
far
guys go
away.
see Gene up in Indy,
We
you
are.
guys, you need to take that album with you and have him sign it.
Take it out.
I'll
Take it
I'll
out.
fucking pay you $20 to do it.
Shut up. I'm not. No.
That'll be the greatest thing ever. You'd be like, what is this?
That's
Your
even better
girlfriend.
because he doesn't like that song.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, that's even worse.
Oh, it'd be funny, dude. You get
Yeah.
thrown out. It'd be hilarious.
Well,
Anyway,
if you had a ball sack, you'd have come up and went with us.
I have to work, dude. I can't get off. I told you that. Anyway,
Yeah, that's what she said. Go ahead.
you don't have one, so
All right.
where are we? 5?
Yeah, number
You're-
5. My fifth and final Jake selection is a song called "Over and Over" off Ultimate Sin.
Good song. Song.
Crickets.
And that's all I got to say about that.
That's done. I don't have anything important to tell
All
you
right,
about it.
Bill ain't got nothing. I had a song called
Oh.
"Never" off of Ultimate Sin. I like "Never." I thought that was, and like I said, I went through Jakey's listening to his guitar riffs, and I thought that was probably one of the better riffs, and that's just what I went with. So, Alan,
My number 5 is Lightning Strikes. That's
yeah, that's
just,
good. That is a good song.
that is just a badass song.
Mhm.
All right, now let's get to an upgraded
It's
guitar.
time for the Zakk Attack.
The Zakk Attack, Viking Love.
Oh man, the man who does not take a bath.
I'll tell you what, that guy's hilarious though. If you've
He
ever
is
I
funny.
love Jake.
Yeah.
I love him.
follow some of his Instagrams and some of his little video shorts, man, he's
Well, he
hilarious.
has some funny. His little videos are funny as shit.
Real
they're-
funny.
They are really good. I like those.
Yeah, have you seen the one that was like the precursor to one of his Black Label Society records coming out? I think it was the Vatican catacombs at the Vatican or whatever was, but he did like a 30-minute little behind the scenes special at his house, and it was freaking great. It was
I bet it
hilarious.
was funny.
Go YouTube. It is very entertaining.
Was there one when he was singing? He was doing Adele. When they singing Adele, and then somebody come up and punch him in the face or something like that. It was like the funniest thing ever. It was like,
I don't remember. It was just mostly him and his house, and you know he
that's funny.
working out and all that other stuff. That guy's nuts. Crazy workout habit. So my first one, and this may be my favorite Zakk riff. I don't know. I love this song so much. Miracle Man off of No Rest for the Wicked. I love that song, man. That's one of my favorite album openers. That song just kicks so much ass. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the solo on that song, oh shit. That solo is badass. So yeah. That's my first pick. It was the 5th studio release by Ozzy. It was released in '88, and it was Zakk's first appearance on album.
Awesome. Bill?
My first pick was off the same album, but I picked "Breaking All the Rules,"
Cool.
which is it's more, it's got that more of a melodic thing, but he does a solo in that song that's just killer. I
Mhm.
think. That was my pick.
All right. So going from Jakey, where I had to really, really decide and find this stuff, I love everything that Zakk does. I mean, there isn't a song that doesn't have a kick-ass hook riff in it. There isn't, his leads are always kick-ass. And the thing I like about, and real quick, one thing I like about Zakk is when he does Randy's stuff, he'll sound almost just like Randy. I mean, he can imitate Randy pretty damn close. But then he always throws a little bit of Zakk in there. You know what I'm saying? A little squeal here, a little Zakk. Same way with Jakey. I mean, Zakk is actually, he can do anything. But then he always puts his little stamp of approval on stuff like that too. Yeah, I just love the guy. There again, I don't want to be one of those that picks the most favorite song or whatever. But I'm gonna go with my buddy here. Miracle Man is one of the kick asses. I mean, it's just that lick, and like I say, from a beginning song, just he nailed it, dude. I mean, he couldn't have had a better opening for a career with Ozzy.
It's one of my few ringtones.
Oh, I do. I think that lick is just incredible. So anyway, that's all. I'm gonna agree with you, bud.
So should I just say ditto and let's move along?
You have the same one?
Yeah. You know, the only thing that I don't like about that being the opening act is you hit a home run when there's nobody on base. You know, you need to hit a grand slam, but
right.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he totally knocked it out of the park with that opening song. Almost that opening act.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, I love that song.
I was going to get a kick if me and Steve's Zakk songs were all identical. That would be hilarious.
I don't think they will be because I chose some off-kilter Zakk songs, but at the same time, I've got some that are kind of just like a little bit boring, but I couldn't deny them. So,
right.
And that leads us to my second pick, which is one of those songs that I kind of think is a little bit boring choice, but it's just, to me, it's undeniable, which is No More Tears. I mean, the solo and No More Tears.
I almost went with that. I come close.
I couldn't deny it. It was the last thing I put on this list, and I was like, there are other songs that I like that I can add to the list that would be deeper cuts that I would consider fairly cool, but I can't turn an ear to that solo section in No More Tears. I can't.
It's awesome.
So that was my number 2.
That wasn't number 2, it was number 3 for me, but I'm gonna go with that one, and we'll just keep rolling because and that's the same way. I mean, it's there's some of that. I mean, it's, to me, some of the Zakk stuff that were the big stuff are things that's the reason you listen to Ozzy. It was those songs just really, really stood out, and it's hard to deny those songs. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's another one of them. And I got, there's a couple other ones too that are the same way. So I'm with you. That's 2 deuce on that.
Okay. I didn't pick that song, but I do like it. Like I said, it's almost like with Randy, you can't pick a bad song. So it's every one of them is going to be a good pick. Mm-hmm. It's just a personal opinion. Tattooed Dancer. I like that song. It's got a kick at there again. As much as I like his leads, his rhythms are just fucking incredible. And they catch you. And those songs, when they start out, he gets that little riff going, dude. It just hooks me. I mean, I'm just like, it's fishing, and I'm like, well, I'm in on this one. I'm in. And Tattooed Dancer, I don't care much for the lyrics. I don't like the Ozzy part of it, but the guitar work is just awesome. Anyway, I know we're all gonna pick the same shit. So,
dude, for me, I mean, I'll be surprised that we picked some of this stuff. I'm real surprised with that one. But for me, because I know a lot of people that don't like No Rest for the Wicked, which is kind of surprising. I think that album.
I like that album.
I actually have 3 off that album. 1 off of No Tears and 1 off of Osmosis. So that was my.
No shit. Are you kidding me?
No.
There you go.
All right, well, my third Zakk pick is also, was that second or third? That was the second one.
Second.
Tattooed Dancer.
And I actually had, oh shit, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But, not only in Tattooed Dancer is Zakk's guitars really, really good, but Randy Castillo is fantastic drummer, and he complimented that song so well to me.
Yeah, it's a good song. It was a good song. Awesome. All right.
I'll move on, even though that'll be down on my list a little bit. So we'll just skip over that when we get to it.
Go for it.
But my next pick is off of Osmosis, 7th studio released in October of '95. The song was actually written by Geezer Butler, Ozzy, and Zakk. And that is Thunder Underground.
Man, I almost picked it. I come real close.
Man. I can't believe it, because it's crazy. These are the songs that I thought were kind of like off kilter,
Well, but we are a little off kilter ourselves. So.
Perfect fit.
I hadn't heard that song for a long time, and I was just kind of going through and picking songs off. trying to, get some of them because I didn't have time to listen to the whole thing. And I started listening to that song. I couldn't stop. I listened to that song like 3 times in a row. Just dang, that is a really good song. I mean,
what's funny is I didn't like Osmosis that much when it came out, and it kind of sat in the back of my collection. And I heard that song on Sirius XM of all places. I heard that song, and I was like, "What the hell song is this?" And it like Thunder Underground. So I went home and I pulled it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, I own this." I said, "This is Osmosis." I played it and I was like, "Oh yeah, man, let me pull that over to one of my mixes because this song is badass."
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly right.
Those are always the diamond in the rough, if you will, or finding the spare change in your couch cushion. It's been there all along, you just didn't know it.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pull that one out now because Osmosis was never an album that I dug very much.
I'm not a big. Do you like the rest of the album, Steven?
There's several other songs I like off of it. I mean, I looked at it. I haven't listened to it from start to finish recently, but there's a handful of other songs I like. I think Almighty Dollar's on that one. That's a pretty good tune. A little bit industrial. So yeah, I mean, I like some of the stuff on there.
Well, since we're talking about the album, I'll skip over because I don't have any order, so I got to remember where I'm at. But the only song that I did pick off of Osmosis, and there again, I don't like to try to pick a song that was a popular song, but Perry Mason, that lick reminds me a lot of almost like Miracle Man. It's just one of those licks. It's kind of an iconic. And then the thing is, that song comes together completely because I like Ozzy's vocals on that. I like the lyrics. I like the way it's written. Just the way it's built. That is a good song, and it's one of those ones. Like I said, I don't always try to go for the ones that are popular, but there again, I'm like you with the other song. I listened to it like 2 or 3 times in a row, going, "Damn, that is a good song. It's got a great hook to it," and that's why I picked it.
I love that song.
Yeah, well, it is a good song.
The local. I was living in Colorado Springs when that came out, and the local radio station played that song like every other song.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I don't care for that song very much.
Well, and MTV played it too. I think they had a video for it. MTV played very hard. But there again, it's one of those things where I hadn't listened to that album forever. So when I listened to it again, now if you'd asked me, when it first came out, I'd probably go, yeah, that song, I'm burnt on it. But there again, I hadn't heard it for years. I'm like, man, it's just a really well-built song. I mean, that's why I liked it. So
cool.
All right, Alan.
We're on number 4 now, correct? Or is that number 3?
That was
number 3. Bloodbath in Paradise.
Good song.
That was off of. Yep.
That's the one written about Charlie Manson. That's that, right?
Right. I think so.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Steven.
Back to you, Steven.
Back to me. All right. Well, so I'll just skip over Tattoo Dancer because that was next up on my list.
That's a great song.
Should I just go straight to my number 5?
I had 6 songs. I couldn't stop.
So I would replace Tattoo Dancer because I went back and forth with Tattoo Dancer, and the other song that I went is the song right after it, which is Demon Alcohol. I love that song as well. I like the riff on it, so I'll throw Demon Alcohol in there.
Okay, so my next song is Demon Alcohol.
God, wow!
But Bill, go ahead, do yours, and then I'll talk about.
So this one, I mean, the other one on my list was I went a little bit safer, which was Crazy Babies, because that song is.
It's got a hook.
You got to turn that. It's got a hook, and you got to turn it up loud, and you just can't not scream along. I mean, it's just.
And I love the video for that song.
Yeah,
the video.
That was a single.
Yeah,
babies.
The guitars sound so damn big and fat on that song. I mean, they sound fat on the record, but they sound great on that song too.
Yep,
exactly. And then Demon Alcohol's got that. I mean, it's not like it's super, because you know how a lot of times it's a swelling kind of guitar sound. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but with Demon Alcohol, it's kind of it's kind of low key, and then it comes in and that's Demon Alcohol is a great song. It's just like I said, that album No Rest was kind of a reinvigorating because of the Jakey years. We got this. I'm like, holy shit, this is Ozzy's back. Because from the
they got out of the synthesizer. I mean, they got out of that.
They did. They went back to
thing.
Heavy,
it was
well, and they got a good guitar player that doesn't need a keyboard player.
I don't think that was Jakey's fault.
And they got rid of the Shelley Winters look.
Yeah,
that helped.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly.
Maud. We had Maud, Yeah. That thing had Maud, so I don't want to hear about it.
All right, so let's see. Alan, it's your turn, right?
Well, my number 4 pick is the same as Bill's. It's Crazy Babies.
All right, Crazy.
That's Crazy Babies is one of the highlights, and the whole No Rest for the Wicked album I love, but Crazy Babies is a highlight of that album for me.
That is a good song. Just kind of skipped it because it was a popular song, but anyway.
Yep. So it's safe to say that we all love No Rest for the Wicked then, yeah?
Yeah.
It is a very, very good album.
Because my first 4 Zakk picks were all off of No Rest.
Well, it's fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave No Rest now because I think we've covered every song on it just about. So I'm going to go to, and I'm going to correct myself because I don't want any crazy people trying to correct me later on after this.
That never happens on our episode.
Not on our show, ever.
Billy. No, sorry.
So Almighty Dollar was off of Black Rain. I said maybe it was off of off of Osmosis, but Almighty Dollar was off of Black Rain, and that's a song that I kind of dig. But that's not my pick. My pick is I Don't Want to Stop off of Black Rain. I like that tune. It's a heavy song. It was the first single off this record, released in 2007. And to me, a lot of this later stuff, like Black Rain and stuff, it kind of sounds like Zakk is, it basically sounds like Black Label Society with Ozzy singing to a point, it's starting to sound a lot like Black Label Society would end up sounding. And I wonder whether that had anything to do with Zakk leaving or whatever. I don't know, but it just sounds, he started having that heavier sound in these later albums, but I Don't Want to Stop.
Well, we'll have to see how the next Ozzy album comes out since Ozzy and Zakk have paired up again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I had I Don't Want to Stop as number 6 when I had an extra one. So my number 5 pick, though, was I picked a kind of obscure song. When listening to No More Tears the other day.
I bet you $1. Go ahead.
So I picked a bonus track. Yes, Dennis?
No.
All right. So I picked a bonus track called "Party with the Animals," which.
No, but I like that song. I actually almost picked it. Almost picked it. Almost. I'm close.
That to me was the great way to end that album. It just and a great title and another one of those songs that it's got a great hook and that's a cool song. I like that song too.
We were that close to getting the same song, but my one song off of No More Tears is an odd song, and it takes forever for the guitar to get going in this song, but I just love the intricate little workings of this, is Zombie Stomp. That song is just I like the way dunk, 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 it builds up. Yep. I just love that. Because you're so used to of Zakk just coming out and just tearing your head off. This one here gives him, and if you ever seen like Zakk, he's in like they call it chicken picking. Mm-hmm. If you ever seen him do stuff like that, his guitar work, he's got like all kinds of stuff he can do other than just rocking balls. Dude's just a guitar extraordinaire. I like the guy a lot, and but I like that song because it's different, and it shows a little bit different side of him. And then, of course, then it kicks in and he's rocking balls.
There you go.
I like a lot off that record. Zombie Stomp was one of the ones I actually considered for my choice, and I don't know if there's an intro section, but I don't necessarily think it's before Zombie Stomp. But there's like a slide guitar, bluesy, real southern swampy guitar intro to one of the songs off of side 2 on that record, and it's really cool. So,
and then I had a quick. I had an extra one called a 6th one. It was called that I Never Had off of Down to Earth. I thought that had a cool little lick to it. But anyway, it was a 6th one that I threw in there. But anyway, like I could put
like you need another one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Alan.
So Bill and Dennis can't count, is what they're trying to say.
No,
I choose Hellraiser.
I just like Zakk. So there you go.
There you go. My final pick is off of that other album that is not No Rest for the Wicked. I picked Desire, and I like the drive. The song just drives, and I didn't learn until later that Lemmy Kilmister either wrote the song or he's a co-writer.
Cool. He's a co-writer. I think he wrote the lyrics for that and Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Cool.
But later on, I think he went and re-recorded, or he recorded both of those songs himself. So if you haven't heard Lemmy's version of those songs, I don't know if it's Lemmy solo or if it's Motorhead, but he did a pretty cool rendition of them himself.
I didn't hear the Desire, but I've heard the Motorhead version of Hellraiser, which I like. Sounds similar.
Cool.
So now, you got something? Were you going to say something, Steve?
No.
Okay. Before we wrap this up, who's your favorite Ozzy guitarist? Except for Dennis, we already know. No, seriously. Who's your favorite Ozzy guitarist, and which is your favorite Ozzy album?
Are you asking that to me or to everybody?
I'm asking each of you individually.
Listen, it's kind of, here's my view on it. It's kind of sacrilegious if you pick anybody other than Randy. And that's just kind of how I view it. I mean, it's. Are
you going to get emotional on us? Roll your eyes.
No. No, I mean, it's just he was a little bit groundbreaking at the time, right? So if you look at the period of time and the records and the work that came out, he was a little bit of a groundbreaking individual. Obviously, with Zakk, we have so much more of a body of work to choose from, right? You not only have the Ozzy body of work, but you also have the Black Label Society, the Pride and Glory, everything. I mean, you have a huge, huge body of work to choose from. I think just if I have to pick a guitar player just from influence and everything, I have to go with, as Zakk would put it, Saint Randy, or Saint Rhoades, as he calls him, I think. I have to go with that. As far as records go, I mean, to me, Blizzard and Diary, it's throw a dart and pick one. I mean, they're both classic albums to me, and I love them both a lot. But there's a lot of Zakk stuff. I really like No Rest for the Wicked. I really like No More Tears. So, I don't know. That's a hard question, man. I don't know that I can answer it. I don't know that I can seriously, honestly answer that.
That is a very valid response.
I think that it's easy to say which one I don't like.
Well, I was gonna ask which Zakk or which Jake E album was your favorite.
Well, if I had to pick a
Cartel,
yeah, not this. If I had to pick a Jake E album, I would pick Bark at the Moon over Ultimate Sin personally. But I would pick Randy Rhoads and I would pick Blizzard of Oz. I do like Zakk. I didn't realize till I started listening to these again how much I really do like No Rest and No More Tears as well. But it's interesting because we all picked songs off those albums. We didn't. Well, Osmosis, we kind of went there a little bit, but we pretty much stuck with those albums. We didn't venture very far off that, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I would say, for me, it's definitely Randy and Blizzard of Oz.
I'm going to go with Randy because, like I said, he was just, I don't think that Ozzy would be here today where he's at if it wouldn't have been for Randy and that chemistry of the Blizzard band when it first started out. I think that Ozzy, those songs were good, but having a guitar player that was just so earth changing. I mean, it was so unique, and I mean, it stood the test of time. These 2 albums, and people were still talking about Randy. And he's been gone for a long time.
He's been gone
now,
for
I'm
like
gonna
35 years.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I was actually on my way home from getting my braces readjusted. My mom was driving me. We were about Alcoa on 66 when it came on the radio, and I was just absolutely floored. I mean, it's probably one of the first times I had somebody that I really, really liked, and when Elvis passed away, I was like, okay, Elvis is gone, and John Lennon wasn't a big thing, but Randy, it was like, oh my God, Randy, holy shit, he's dead. It was heartbreaking.
Did you say that out loud?
Probably. No, but I just had my braces tight, and so I was like going, oh, holy fucking shit. But anyway, now I'm gonna go, and we had talked about this, I think, before we started talking about on air. But my favorite Ozzy album is "Speak of the Devil" with Brad Gillis. I'm sorry. And the reason being is that I'm a big Black Sabbath fan, and to hear those songs in an updated version is super killer. I mean, you can put that album on now, and it sounds great. Brad did a great job, for a guy who had to come in. I mean, would you imagine having to fill Randy's shoes? I mean, that would just been. And the thing is, people go, well, look, they brought Brad in, and then he did an album with Ozzy tunes. Randy was going to have to do that album. If Randy Rhoades wouldn't have died in that plane crash, Randy would have made that album.
And he hated it. He hated it.
I've read so many, even Ozzy's book, everybody has talked about Randy was just absolutely just over, beside himself because he had to do this. But they were contractually had to do it.
I just got done reading the Rudy Sarzo book.
I don't get that. I have not got that yet. But
he talks a lot about that. He talks about how Randy hated playing, even just like every night he hated playing Paranoid and Iron Man. He just couldn't stand it. He felt like they had enough good material. He didn't want to play those old tunes. He wanted to play the stuff. I don't think Randy would be in heavy music.
No, he wouldn't.
Still alive today.
No, he would have left probably soon after before, what I'm saying, after that situation, he would have been gone. Like I said, he'd been more inclined. It'd been interesting to see where he would have went. But he wasn't happy with rock. He never did like it, so.
I think he'd be teaching, really. I mean, he enjoyed teaching, according to everything I've read. He was really, really, he worked at his mom's school, her music school, and he got a charge.
Just passed away, didn't she? Just like in the last year or two?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Dolores, I think she passed away here just a year or two ago. But anyway, no, like I said, I like that album, and I think it's a good. And if anybody's not, familiar with it, pick it up, listen to it. It's interesting. It's a different take on Black Sabbath.
So just for fun, what's your favorite tune off of that? Pick one.
Children of the Grave. I like that song.
Deuce. We would have both had it on our list. That's my tune.
Yeah, I love that song. Fairies were, it's just, I like Black Sabbath, and to hear Brad play it with a little bit of a newer, it's got a newer sound to it. That's the greatest sound.
His footprints all over it.
Exactly. So anyway, all right, Alan, you're the man with the question.
Here's a big surprise: The Ultimate Sin and Jake E. Lee. However,
you got some big balls.
Woo. Well, that's my emotional attachment, and you can roll your eyes all you want.
Sentimental value, dude.
That's right.
And the hate mail is at Alan.
Alan at agesofrock.com.
.com.
But No Rest for the Wicked is a very close second favorite album. Because, I mean, they're both, in my opinion, they're badass albums.
Yeah. All right.
But Blizzard of Oz is my third pick, so I got a little Randy in there. So everybody calm down.
So I got to try to find some of that on vinyl so you guys can keep giving me shit about the other one.
All right, Steve, awesome. You got anything else to say?
No, other than I enjoyed it, man. You guys ever need a fourth voice, feel free to call me up. I'm always available.
Definitely.
Let's talk about your blog. Who are you blogging for? You want to do some self-promotion? Hit it.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of blogging I've done has been album reviews and concert reviews, and I've been putting my blogs over there on decibelgeek.com. Okay. On those guys' webpage. But here soon, I'm going to have my own webpage, and eventually I'll have my own podcast as well.
Awesome, cool.
And the podcast will be centered around growing up rock. And it will talk a lot about sort of what we started to go down the rabbit hole on today, which is the emotional connection to music. So musical memories.
Awesome.
Idea that I've got is that I'll have a ton of my own stories, obviously, but I also want to get the listeners involved and tap into their stories, right? Because everybody has a story about the first time you heard this album, or the first time you saw this concert, or the first time you saw this band, right? And they're probably, if they're anything like we are, right, they're very passionate about those stories, right?
Right.
So I want to share those. I want to blog about those, and I want to share those. And so my blog, I'll put out a blog, and it'll be centered around an idea, and it will tie back to a podcast episode.
Cool. That sounds cool, man.
That's a golf clap.
That is
very good. I like that. No, that is cool. That is awesome. Well, good luck, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
and you're going to be on the show, man. You're going to be in Nashville.
I'll be in Nashville. Yeah, I'll be in Nashville at the end.
Cool. Dennis will buy you a beer.
Yeah, hell yeah, I will.
You guys gonna come to the pre-concert Friday night?
No. Oh, I'd love to. Man, dipshit Bill, he can't go.
Whoa.
What?
I'm the one that texted you guys a couple of weeks ago and said,
Dennis,
are you guys going to go down on Friday? Because I could leave right after the football game and be there at a decent hour. I mean, not too late.
I'm good.
But you said,
no, I just said it'd be hard to do.
Day, no, I can be there in 2 hours and
I said I can be there, but 2 nights of having fun is going to be tough on an old guy.
Listen, I'm 50 years old. If I can suck it up and do it, you guys can.
I'm 51, so there you
51.
go.
Shut up.
Not in my 50s.
I tell you what, we may, if we end up down there on Friday, we'll get in contact with you. Because like I said, we'll see you at some point. I'd like to go.
I think they're going to have some good bands. I'm interested in seeing that Denman and the Tip. I think they're good bands. So.
Yeah, I won't be able to be there till late. So,
it's okay.
If we do that, we'll see.
Either way, we'll have a drink, have a laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We'll definitely see you. So, all right, Alan.
All right, visit us on agesofrock.com. Check us out on Stitcher Radio, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of that fun. Till next week, peace out, folks.
Ear peeler.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.